Hey there, and welcome. So, have you been studying English for a while but feel like you've just kind of hit a wall, especially when it comes to actually speaking? Well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to break down how you can move past those annoying hurdles and finally achieve that real, confident fluency you're looking for.
You know that feeling, don't you? Where you have all the words swirling around in your head, you know the grammar rules, but when you go to open your mouth, poof, nothing comes out. Or maybe you just freeze up, totally worried you're about to say the wrong thing. It is an incredibly common feeling, and it's exactly what we're going to tackle today.
This right here, this quote, is the key to everything we're talking about. It's all about a shift in focus. See, fluency isn't about being flawless. It's about being understood. It's about genuine communication. And once you really, truly grasp that, everything else just starts to click into place.
So let's talk about this fluency freeze. What is it really? Why does our brain, which has all this information stored up, suddenly just stop? Well, it turns out it's usually not a knowledge problem at all. It's almost always rooted in one very powerful emotion.
That's it, right there. Fear. The number one thing holding most people back is the fear of making a mistake. The fear of sounding silly, of being judged, or, and this is a big one, of not being perfect. That fear is what paralyzes us and stops us from doing the single most important thing we need to do to get better, which is, actually speaking.
Okay, so if the problem is fear, the solution isn't just more vocabulary lists or endless grammar drills. The real solution is a huge mindset shift. We have to completely redefine what our goal is, and we can do that by looking at the old way of thinking versus the new way.
Just look at this comparison for a second. On the left, you've got the old goal, perfection, and that leads to a fear of errors, which makes you sound like you're reading from a textbook. But now look at the right, the new goal, fluency. This is all about embracing mistakes, focusing on connecting your ideas, and just sounding natural. It's not a small tweak. This changes your entire approach to learning.
And here's something you absolutely have to remember. When you're talking to a native speaker, they are not grading you. They don't have a red pen out. Honestly, they just appreciate the effort you're making to speak their language. They can almost always figure out what you mean, even with a few mistakes. Connection, not perfection. That's the goal.
All right, so now that we've got this new mindset locked in, how do we actually put it into practice? Well, we're going to build up our confidence using a toolkit that's based on 4 key pillars.
Here they are, our 4 pillars: consistent practice, active listening, pronunciation, and vocabulary. Simple, right? Now let's break each one down.
First up, consistent practice. This is the absolute bedrock of fluency. And the key word here is frequency. Seriously, speaking just a little bit every single day is so much more effective than cramming in one long study session once a week.
And the best part is, you can start this literally right now. You could find a language partner online, join a local conversation group, or even just practice talking with an AI chatbot on your phone. The most important thing is this: do not wait until you feel ready. You get ready by starting.
Okay, let's move on to our second pillar, active listening. This makes so much sense when you think about it. To speak naturally, you have to know what natural speech actually sounds like, and that means you have to listen with a real purpose. So next time you put on a movie or a podcast in English, don't just passively hear the words, really listen to the music of the language. How do speakers stress certain words? What's the rhythm and flow? How do all the words blend together? Then try to imitate it. That is how you go from sounding stiff to sounding natural.
And that leads us perfectly into pillar number 3, pronunciation. Now, this isn't just about making sure you say individual sounds correctly. It's about mastering that music we were just talking about, the rhythm and flow of the language.
There's this amazing technique called shadowing. It's super simple but incredibly powerful. You just find a short audio clip of a native speaker, and as you listen, you repeat what they're saying in real time, trying to stay just a split second behind them. It literally trains your mouth and your brain to pick up the natural rhythm of English.
All right, our final pillar is vocabulary, but we are going to approach this in a much smarter, way more effective way than just memorizing long, random lists of words.
Here's the secret: learn words in context. More specifically, you want to learn words that naturally go together. This is an absolute game changer for making your speech sound smooth and authentic.
The fancy word for this is collocation. It just means words that like to hang out together. For example, native speakers say heavy rain, not strong rain. Is strong rain technically wrong? Not really, but it just sounds off. Learning these little word partnerships is one of the best shortcuts to fluency there is.
So let's just do a quick recap of our 4 pillars. For practice, the big idea is to speak all the time and forget about being perfect. For listening and pronunciation, you're basically imitating native speakers to capture the music of the language. And for vocabulary, you're learning words in context, focusing on those collocations. It's a whole system for building real confidence.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've gone over a lot of tools and techniques, but you know what? It all comes back to the very first thing we talked about, your mindset.
This is it. This is the master key that unlocks everything else. Every single technique we've discussed today will only work if you give yourself permission to be imperfect. You have to get over that fear of making mistakes. Start seeing every error not as a failure, but as proof that you're trying, that you're learning, and that you're growing.
So I want to leave you with this question. Just think about it for a second. What is one small step, one conversation, one little attempt you can make today where you just completely embrace the idea that you might make a mistake? Because that's not just the first step towards fluency, that is fluency in action. So go on, go make that first happy mistake. Thanks for tuning in.